The man you call lucky is the same man who bled when no one watched. While you scrolled, he trained. While you slept, he conquered. And now you call it unfair? No, it's the price you pay for thinking average was safe. Most of you have been lied to since birth. Lied to by your teachers, your parents, your friends, even your government. They told you to be nice, to follow the rules, to stay safe. They told you if you go to school, get good grades, get a job, you'll be happy. That's the first layer of the matrix. It's not built to make you rich, it's built to make you obedient. It's not education, it's programming. They don't train you to be strong, they train you to be compliant. And you fell for it. You sleepwalk through life, proud of your chains because they gave you a diploma. You wake up and the first thing you do is grab your phone. You check Instagram, you scroll TikTok, you read messages that don't matter from people who don't matter about problems that don't matter. You look for something to stimulate you because your life has no mission. You drag yourself out of bed like a wounded animal, not because you're exhausted from building an empire, but because your soul is tired of being useless. You hate Mondays, worship weekends, and cry when holidays end. You're not living, you're surviving in slow motion. That's the slave mindset, the mental poison that convinces you that comfort is safety, that struggle is bad, that dreaming is risky. You want soft beds, air conditioning, and entertainment, but you don't want responsibility, pressure, or consequence. And that's why you lose. Because you don't want to carry weight, you want to be carried. You want handouts, you want sympathy, you want someone to come fix your life for you. Because deep down, you don't even trust yourself to do it. That's the virus they injected into you. And every time you hit snooze, every time you say maybe tomorrow, every time you settle, the virus wins. But listen to me carefully, because this is the part they'll never tell you. You are not broken. You are not weak by design. You were built to be dangerous. You were built for pressure. There is a part of you buried under years of lies, shame, and softness that is capable of absolute greatness. A part of you that can rise early, train relentlessly, lead with conviction, build wealth, protect, conquer, and inspire. That part of you is real. It's not a fantasy. It's been waiting, it's angry, and it's ready. The reason you feel hollow isn't because you're lazy. It's because you've been operating at 10% of your potential and your soul knows it. You were born for war, not comfort. Born to fight dragons, not fold laundry. You're miserable because you're not doing what you were meant to do. Every day you skip the gym, every task you procrastinate, every lie you tell yourself is a betrayal of the warrior inside. And that warrior doesn't go away, he just gets angrier. He rots in silence until one day he's either unleashed or buried forever. You need to understand something. Every top G you see, every man who's built a kingdom from scratch, every icon you envy, they weren't born different. They weren't handed success. They simply woke up one day and said, enough. Enough excuses, enough hiding, enough running. They made a decision, not a wish, not a plan, a real decision, one that said, I'd rather die fighting than live on my knees. And from that moment forward, they became unstoppable, not because it was easy, but because quitting was never an option again. And here's what makes it beautiful. You don't need $1 billion. You don't need a private jet. You don't need connections. You need discipline, you need focus, you need aggression, you need purpose. The playing field is more level than you think. While you cry about the system, someone else is using that same system to break out. You scroll past his life every day and think, must be nice. It's not nice. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's war. And he won because he embraced it while you avoided it. You can flip the switch right now. That's the beauty of this life. You're never stuck unless you decide to be. The past doesn't matter. The losses don't matter. The pain doesn't matter. All that matters is what you do next. You can wake up tomorrow and start becoming the man you were meant to be. Not slowly, not someday, now, with fire, with rage, with absolute hunger to become a savage of purpose. A man who doesn't wait for the world to fix him because he's too busy fixing himself. Top G mentality isn't about arrogance. It's about ownership. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, everything in my life is my fault. And that's the best fucking news ever. Because if it's your fault, then it's your power. And if you have the power, there are no limits. You're not too late, you're not too weak, you're not too far gone. You're just one real choice away from rewriting your entire destiny. I remember the moment I realized the world didn't care if I won or lost. It wasn't some movie moment, no music, no spotlight, just me broke, hungry, and angry at everything. I was sitting in a cold room eating noodles from a plastic bowl, staring at the wall and thinking, this can't be it. This can't be what life's about. There were no cheers, no guidance, no safety net, just silence. And it hit me. No one is coming to save me. That silence, that was the sound of reality. That was the sound of freedom. Because in that moment, I realized if no one's coming, then I am the only one who can rise. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I didn't grow up surrounded by yachts and Lambos. My first fight wasn't in the ring. It was with my circumstances. Poverty doesn't knock politely. It kicks your door down and dares you to get up. I've been ignored, doubted, betrayed, laughed at. But every moment of pain gave me clarity. Every setback forged a sharper version of me. Every night I went to sleep with nothing in my pockets, I woke up with more fire in my heart. And that fire, that's what built the man you see today. I've lived it. I've lived the war in silence. I've lived the loneliness that comes when you start leveling up and nobody claps for you. When you outgrow the crowd and suddenly they start calling you arrogant for having standards. I've walked through that storm where people vanish the second you say, I'm going all in on myself. That's when the world tests you. When the distractions grow louder, when the critics show up, when your own mind whispers lies, like what if you're not enough? But I never bowed to that voice. I looked it dead in the face and said, I'll become too much for you to handle. Let me tell you something no school will ever teach you. Adversity is your greatest ally. That pain you're running from, that's the sharpening stone. That rock bottom you're scared of, that's the ground where warriors are built. The people who never struggle, never grow. The ones who are always comfortable, they stay soft, they rot. Comfort breeds entitlement, and entitlement destroys ambition. But the ones who suffer with purpose, the ones who chase the hard path, they become unstoppable. I didn't choose the hard life because I'm crazy. I chose it because I refuse to die normal, ruthlessly. I've bled for every ounce of success, not in public where it's seen, in private, behind the doors, when no one's watching, when the lights are off, when the temptations scream louder than your goals. I've said no to easy money, fake friends, fast pleasure, and all the distractions this world throws to derail you. Because I had a vision, a mission, a ruthless desire to become the kind of man who can't be ignored. I trained when I was tired. I worked when I was broke. I believed in myself when no one clapped. And now the same world that doubted me pays to hear me speak. You want to know what separates the top G from the average man? It's not muscles. It's not money. It's decision. It's that pivotal moment where you say, I'm not playing this game on my knees anymore. It's the moment you walk past the excuses, past the fear, past the self-pity, and say, let's see what happens if I go all in. That's what I did. That's the story. No fairy tale, just relentless war. And I chose to win it. And here's the part most people miss. You can write your own story. You're not trapped. You're not finished. Your current chapter doesn't define the final one. But you have to be brutally honest about where you are and obsessively focused on where you're going. If you're not willing to face the truth, you'll never escape the lie. If you're not hungry, really hungry, the world will feed you scraps and convince you it's a feast. You got to get disgusted with average. You got to become allergic to mediocrity. You got to stop waiting for permission to live like a king and start moving like one. You don't need a sob story to change. You just need rage. Controlled, focused, productive rage. Rage against who you've allowed yourself to become. Rage against the version of you that settled. That rage is sacred. That rage is the beginning of rebirth. You were not born to be invisible. You were born to dominate, to lead, to build, to inspire. But that only happens when you start acting like your life is on the line, because it is. Your story isn't over, but it will be written by either fear or fire, and only you can choose the pen. You know what's terrifying? It's not death. It's reaching the end of your life and realizing you never truly lived. It's waking up one day, gray hair, hunched back, and eyes that used to dream now dulled by regret. That's real horror. The regret of knowing you had potential, real potential, but you traded it for cheap dopamine, empty nights, and comfort zones padded with excuses. And what's worse, you knew better. And you felt it burning inside you, didn't you? That whisper that said you're meant for more, and yet you ignored it, buried it, smothered it under distractions. That's the slow death most men walk into. Fully conscious, fully capable, but fully asleep. Let me say this clear so it echoes in your soul. Time is not infinite. Every second that passes is a second you never get back. You think you have time, you don't. You've just been lucky so far. That's it. You've been blessed with another day you haven't earned. But one day that luck runs out. And if you're still stuck in the same cycle, living the same life, working the same job, thinking the same weak thoughts, you'll die as you lived. Invisible, average, forgettable. The clock doesn't care about your feelings. It's ticking whether you move or not. If you wait too long, the door closes. The world doesn't pause for the indecisive. The reason most men never make it, they lie to themselves. They say things like, I'll start Monday, or I'm just not ready yet. Lies. All of it. There's no such thing as ready. You think the warriors of history were ready when war knocked on their door? No, they stood up because they had to, because backing down wasn't an option. The same goes for your life. You either rise or you rot. You either evolve or you decay. There's no neutral. Every day you're either building the man you were born to be, or you're becoming a more fragile version of the one you fear becoming. That fear you feel when you're alone, that's not weakness. That's your spirit screaming at you to wake up. Let's talk about urgency, because this life, it doesn't wait for your confidence to show up. You don't need to feel ready to move. You move, and that movement forges confidence. Every minute you delay, someone hungrier is closing in on your dream. Somewhere, there's a man less talented than you, less intelligent than you, with half your resources, but he's relentless, and that alone makes him lethal. He's gonna beat you not because he's better, but because you're still debating with your inner coward. You're still negotiating with weakness. You're still arguing with the alarm clock while he's already on his second victory of the day. You think you're safe? That job you cling to, that lifestyle you protect, it can vanish. One economic shift, one decision from your boss, one health scare, one tragedy. That illusion of safety is the most dangerous prison. Freedom doesn't live in comfort, it lives in conquest, in chaos, in the fire you build by facing hard truths and turning fear into fuel. When I walk into a room, I carry an edge, not because I'm arrogant, but because I've seen what it looks like when men choose peace over power. They get softer, slower, less respected, less remembered, and eventually they become spectators in a game they were born to dominate. FOMO? Let me redefine it for you. Forget missing out on parties or trends. You're missing out on your legacy. Every day you don't act, you're leaving memories unmade. You're leaving your name unsaid. You're handing over your throne to someone else who simply had more balls. Imagine being buried and your own kids never knew how powerful you could have been. Imagine being forgotten because you were too scared to step into discomfort. That should haunt you more than anything, because you had one chance to be legendary and you chose to be entertained. But here's the twist, the beauty, the power. You're not dead yet. Your lungs still hold breath. Your legs still move. Your mind still sharp. You are one decision away from a completely different life. Not a soft, cozy improvement, a full transformation. But only if you act now, not tomorrow, not after one more scroll, now. Because fire dies fast in the hearts of the lazy, but it roars forever in the souls of the decisive. Your fear can be your compass. Your urgency can be your fuel. And your FOMO, that's not weakness. It's proof that you're meant for something more. Let it drive you, not drown you. So ask yourself this right now. Are you going to be the man who watches others rise while you scroll your life away? Or are you going to become the man who moves with speed, speaks with power, and lives with purpose? The kind of man who walks into a room and shifts the energy. The kind of man they write stories about. Because if you're not aiming for that, you're already fading. And fading is the first stage of death. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are simply dormant. The warrior inside you hasn't died. He's just been ignored, smothered under layers of weakness, hesitation, and society's pathetic standard for masculinity. But the fire is still there, the rage, the ambition, the clarity. It's in your chest, begging to erupt. You feel it when you look in the mirror and hate what you've become. You feel it when you walk past the version of yourself you were supposed to be. And every time you ignore that feeling, it gets quieter, but it never disappears. It waits. It waits for the day you finally get sick of the lies, the delays, the soft excuses that keep you trapped. Every empire was once just a thought, one man, one vision, one decision away from greatness. And you think you're too late? You think you missed your window? Nonsense. The universe has no clock. It doesn't care if you're 18 or 48. What it respects is force, movement, ruthless consistency. You could have been lazy for 10 years, and if today you flip the switch, everything changes. That's the beauty of this life. The power to shift your reality is always within reach, but most men don't touch it because they fear the responsibility that comes with it. They'd rather blame the world than build themselves into a weapon that the world can't ignore. You've been brainwashed to seek peace over power. They told you success was about being nice, being balanced, being liked. And now you're tired. Not tired from work, tired from hiding your true potential just to fit into a mold that was designed to weaken you. The modern world doesn't reward strength anymore. It fears it. It labels it as toxic, aggressive, outdated. Because a strong man doesn't need the system. A strong man can walk alone. A strong man cannot be controlled. That's why they feed you distractions, comfort, vice, so you stay soft, obedient, forgettable. But deep down, you know it's all a trap. You feel it every time your soul screams and the world tells you to be quiet. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. There is no mentor, no guru, no perfect moment that's going to drag you out of your hell. It's you. It's always been you. You either rise now or you become just another man who lived a quiet, average life with a fire that never became a flame. But if you choose to rise, if you wake up tomorrow with blood in your eyes and war in your mind, the universe will bend. Always bends for the man who walks with purpose. Not because he's lucky, not because he's gifted, but because he refuses to be anything less than elite. Discipline is not a prison. It's the path to freedom. People run from effort like it's a curse, when in reality, it's the most beautiful blessing on earth. Waking up early, grinding when you're tired, rejecting weakness. These aren't punishments. These are the rituals of kings. You want confidence, stack wins. You want power, do the work no one else wants to do. When you outwork everyone, you stop needing to speak. Your presence says it all. You walk different. You talk slower with gravity, not because you're arrogant, because you've earned it. Because every scar on your soul came from battle, not comfort. You have no idea how dangerous you could become if you just committed, truly committed. No fallback plan, no half measures, just raw focus day in, day out. You think discipline is hard? Try living with regret. Try watching your potential rot while you smile through mediocrity. Try explaining to your future son why you never became the man you were supposed to be. That's pain. Real pain. But that doesn't have to be your story. You can still rewrite it with rage, with grace, with intensity. You just have to decide, am I willing to do whatever it takes? Because here's the truth no one tells you. When you truly start winning, the world tries to pull you back. Your friends won't understand. Your family might resist. Your old life will haunt you. But that's the test. The real battle isn't just against laziness. It's against comfort disguised as love, against softness dressed up as care. You must become immune to it all, unbreakable, untouchable, because when you become that man, you don't just change your life, you start shifting the lives of everyone around you. Your presence becomes a force, your energy becomes contagious, and the world either adapts to you or gets crushed under your momentum. So stand up, not tomorrow, now. Grab life by the throat and remind it who you are. You are not here to participate. You are not here to blend in. You are not here to be liked. You are here to dominate, to build, to leave a mark so deep time itself can't erase it. You want power, you want freedom, then earn it. Bleed for it, fight for it. And when you rise, because you will rise, do it not to prove them wrong, do it because the world is starving for a man who walks like a god in a world full of ghosts. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not next week, now, right here, in this second, with your lungs full of air and your heart still beating, you have the power to transform, not a minor shift, a full, violent resurrection of your soul. Every excuse you've whispered to yourself, every reason you've given to stay the same, kill it. It's not real. It's the ghost of your cowardice, a lie you've told so many times it started to sound like truth. But deep down, beneath all the layers of weakness and hesitation, there's still a version of you that's unchained, ruthless, unapologetically powerful. That man is still alive. You've just buried him beneath comfort. You don't need a guru. You don't need another video. You don't need motivation from outside sources, because the truth is you've heard enough. You've been spoon-fed inspiration for years and done nothing. You scroll through greatness, double tap on discipline, share quotes about sacrifice, and then go back to your mediocre little routine. That's not how warriors are built. That's how spectators live. You're not a spectator. You were born to conquer. The question is, when are you going to act like it? The universe doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to movement, real action, violent consistency, the type of daily discipline that makes average men uncomfortable. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. One direction leads to more of the same, quiet desperation, numbing entertainment, pretending you're okay while dying inside. The other path, It's hell, pain, isolation, relentless self-discipline. But at the end of that road is freedom. Not fake, temporary happiness, real freedom. The kind that makes your blood hum in your veins and your reflection look you in the eyes with respect. That path is reserved for the few who choose it. Not because it's easy, because they'd rather die on their feet than live another year on their knees. This world is starving for real men. Not nice guys, not victims, leaders, lions. The kind of man whose presence forces others to level up. You want women to respect you, men to admire you, the world to remember you? Then earn it. Not with words, with action. Wake up before the sun. Train until your muscles scream. Learn until your mind becomes a weapon. Work until your results make noise without you ever speaking. The time for talking is over. It's action now, or forever wonder what could have been. And let me say this loud. This journey isn't for everyone. Most men will fold. They'll quit when it hurts. They'll retreat when it's inconvenient. They'll sell their pride for approval. But you're still reading this because something inside of you refuses to quit. You've tasted your own weakness and decided it's not how your story ends. That alone makes you dangerous. That means you still have a shot to become legendary. Don't waste it. Don't walk out of this speech and go back to scrolling TikTok like some mindless peasant. Get up, move, build something. Earn your name. Every second you delay is a second you're betraying the future you were meant to have. Let them call you obsessed. Let them say you changed. You were supposed to change. You were never meant to stay the same. Staying the same is what broke you, what imprisoned you. And if becoming elite means you have to lose a few friends, miss a few parties, walk alone, then walk alone like a god. Because greatness is forged in solitude. Your discipline, your sacrifice, your resilience, they become your armor. The world throws everything at you and you just keep moving forward. Not because it's easy, but because you're built different now. You're not chasing motivation anymore. You've outgrown that. You don't need someone to clap for you. You don't need applause. You need results. Cold, hard results that slap every doubt across the face. You're done trying. You're doing, not later. Now, you leave this page and act. You cut the excuses. You face the resistance. You endure the pain. And when that voice inside you says, I'm tired, you answer back, good, keep going. Because you're not fragile. You're not soft. You're not like them. You're top G. So stand up. Walk into your life like it belongs to you, because it does. And if anyone tries to doubt you, ignore you, mock you, or minimize you, let your work silence them. Let your life become your revenge. Let your transformation speak so loud that it drowns every whisper of doubt. The time for theory is over. It's execution now. Ruthless, focused, unstoppable execution. Because the man you could become is watching. Don't disappoint him.